Y'all know what it is. Raiders, bitch. Just win, baby. Let's go. What is up, Raider Nation? And welcome back to another episode of the Oos Nation Podcast, episode 23, with your boy Simone Raider and my co-host,
Mr. Fitz. Y'all know what it is. Raiders, bitch.
And we got a very special guest, one of our usos as well. Always at the game, man. None other than the GOAT 209, man.
How's everybody doing? Thank you for having me. I've been planning this for a while, so it's nice to be here.
Yeah.
Cool looking studio, dude.
I know. Little official, right? It feels official.
It's official. I do mine out of my living room, so, you know.
Hey, well, what you got over there is crazy, man.
Yeah.
I know we've been planning this for quite a while, but, you know, the season's finally over.
Yeah.
The Raiders are 8-9. Some people expected that. Some people didn't.
Yeah.
He expected 8-9. He actually called it.
We both did. Yeah, we talked about this.
Did you?
Yeah, we're like,
Yeah, he was
he did.
Yeah,
I
did it back in July. I was like, we're going to go 8-9.
And then you said 6-11, but best 8-9, huh?
Yeah.
I seen that.
That's what I said, too.
See, I wanted to be realistic, but my hosts always get. So I shot us down a couple games from the prior year, so I thought we were gonna win like I said 10.
You said 10, yeah.
I said 10
wins.
because the year before that I thought 13 or 12.
Yeah. We had a
I
rough
said,
schedule
for
this
me,
year.
I was like, best case scenario, we'll win 8-9.
Yeah. I didn't have faith in Jimmy G. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
me either.
I was like, and so
I
I
did.
and so I went online. I was like, I'm talking crap, man. You know, because I made a joke. I edited AOC on the cover of Madden in like July. I'm like, he's gonna be our starting quarterback at the end of the year. I was like, he ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, if he starts by midseason, like we're probably a 500 team. That's just being realistic. But
Yeah, see, and
At
that's
least we ended the division in second place.
and we had a winning record for the division overall. That's the other part. And you know, Pierce was what 4-1 for the division. Which when's the last time we did
in
that?
the division, yeah.
When was the last time we did that? We're 4-2 overall, 4-1 the division. Like
We haven't done that in a while. We went
Long time.
6-0, and I think with Hugh Jackson one year. I think it was 2011, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
And we didn't even make the playoffs that year
we were
either.
8-8.
Yeah, we were 8-8. We lost the last game of the season. Oh, fucking course.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a crazy season. I was one of those guys that had faith in Jimmy G, you know. Just show us because he's not on the AOC train no more. But I took some slack, and I do admit that Jimmy G wasn't really the greatest quarterback, but maybe I thought Josh McDaniels was holding him back, so I wanted to see him without Josh McDaniels. We never got to see that, but AOC took over.
We got to see it yesterday.
Bro, he handed the ball off twice, and he got rushed one time, and then he was done, bro.
Ran. I was like, I'm out.
That was about it. But outside of that, like looking back at the season, you obviously you had your expectations like in the middle of the pack. How did you feel about the season overall and everything that went on?
This is the first time I'm excited because we have hope. That's the thing. We always have hope as Raider fans. But now I'm actually excited for next year. I'm excited for the draft. I'm excited for Pierce to come back and to see what that defense is going to do because we've never had a defense like this, period. We're shutting people out.
You're right.
We haven't had a defense like this since the 2000s. We're nasty on defense. One of the things that I've been watching is Kuntz, left and right. I thought he was going to be a bust. I'm like, he's a little undersized. All of his sacks are under Pierce. He has, 8-9 sacks in the last half of the season? Yeah, last half of the game.
That dude's been balling now.
There you go. There's our defensive end, and put Wilson our defensive tackle.
Exactly.
They're going to be nasty next year on the line.
And we've been looking for the opposite of Max for quite a while. We thought Cleveland was that guy.
Yeah.
And we thought Tyree was that guy, but little did we know that. Or even Chandler, when Chandler was with
Chandler,
us.
and then we had, what's the other guy's name that's in Chicago now? Or where'd he go to? Panthers?
No, Colts.
Colts, yeah.
In Nagwe.
Yeah, in Nagwe, yeah. And he gets 7-8 sacks. Yeah.
How do you pronounce his name?
I don't know.
Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah, you said that.
I do a lot of YouTube, so I had to say that a lot.
But no, we've been looking for somebody next to Max Crosby since we drafted him, and it's like we haven't found it. It's like, oh my God, we got somebody that we can coach up now.
And it's great that we got a young guy like Malcolm Kuntz, somebody that's just shot up out of nowhere. And now, like you said, Tyree, I think, plays perfectly inside. I think in that defense that we've seen, man, it's crazy. And like you said, I've never witnessed a defense like that since I've been a fan in like 2003. Yeah. I know like the Super Bowl season, that's probably the last time we had a solid defense.
That's the last time we had a defense.
Yeah, like a defense. So to see this team like go out there and ball out the way they have is crazy.
Yeah, and they're giving 15, 16 points up a game. When have you ever done that? Like,
for real,
killing it.
Against Kansas City Chiefs too.
Yeah.
And then you look at the loss that we had against the Vikings, basically only 3 points.
I think that game was just a bad game.
But you think about it, man. Antonio coming over here, changing the identity of the Raiders. I mean, you were at the game. We were all at the game. You hear the fans.
Everybody's yelling AP. When did we ever yell McDaniels or Gruden?
We yelled for him to get fired.
Fired
McDaniels.
Like, Gruden. But everybody was screaming AP. AP was hyping everybody up.
Oh yeah.
You saw all the Hall of Famers in the locker room afterwards, hyped up. And my favorite thing was he's like, not the press conference, in the locker room, he's like, go out, have fun. I'm going to push the meeting back if I have to for them today.
Exactly.
They have a team meeting. He's like, no, go do your thing, have fun. So it's like, why are you going to be in the headquarters at 8 a.m. for a meeting? He's like, no, you just won a game. We did good at the end of the year. Go out, do your thing. We'll have it later on in the day, and we'll make it happen.
And we haven't had a coach like that though, man. And something that I've seen is like, I watched Joe Morley's like Instagram today, or the reel that we seen today. Like we got back to the Raider way, and it's just having fun, and that's what Antonio's been doing. So I want to ask you, because this has been the topic for obviously the past couple of weeks. What are your you already did say it though, but what are your thoughts on like people saying, maybe going out and getting Jim Harbaugh? Even news today saying that Mark is really intrigued with probably bringing him here.
Harbaugh wins everywhere. He won at San Diego State. He won at Sanford. He won at Michigan. He won with the Niners. The problem with the Niners is Eddie and his family had issues with Harbaugh's ego. Or Harbaugh has an ego and he burns bridges. So he burns himself out at places, and you see that. He's had 5 head coaching jobs, but he wins everywhere he goes. That's the problem. Yeah. So realistically, if you can get him, you probably have to. But I think some players will be really pissed off if they do.
Oh, we already know.
Yeah, and Harbaugh's making the Michigan already offered him a 5-year, $125 million contract. So that means we're going to have to give him $25 million a year. Does Mark want to do that, or does he want to go with the player's coach?
Why not?
That's unproven. So I think if AP stays, they're going to have to get some assistants around him that are high-level assistants, maybe overpaid, maybe some older head coaches who'd want to stay in the booth because he needs that game experience. He doesn't have it. Mm-hmm. He makes stupid mistakes. Let's be honest. He's a first-year coach. He makes dumb time management mistakes. We don't hold him as accountable as McDaniels because McDaniels has 5 rings. Why is he making those mistakes? But with Pierce, we give him a little bit of leeway. So it's going to be a tough decision if they do offer Harbaugh. But we're seeing, I think they're interviewing Dobbs. So
I see it.
I was laughing about that. They're like, oh, Dobbs coached with him on the Raiders in 2003. I'm like, 20 years ago, really? That's your connection you're going to have?
So he's a Raider.
It reminds me of the same thing like when they were like, oh, Derek Carr and Devontae were roommates, 10 years ago. If Carr leaves, Adams going to leave too. It's like, no, dude, like they're going to do it's their job. They're going to come and do their thing, but it's up in the air right now what's going to happen.
Yeah. What about you? If you had to choose today, AP or Harbaugh?
I've said it a couple times. I'm sticking with AP. I want Jim Harbaugh to stay in fucking college.
Well, he's not gonna stay. He's not gonna stay in college. Someone's gonna give him a job. And I'm on the AP train as well. But for me, I look at it as a win-win kind of. Like, because if you get Harbaugh, fuck it. It sucks because everybody's so attached to AP right now. But we get a winner as a coach. But the reason why I say AP is because we haven't seen that type of leader in the locker room that the players want to play for, other than Rich Bisaccia. But I wasn't really on the Rich Bisaccia train when that happened. I was like, he seemed more of like a pushover to me. But AP, just seeing the energy at the stadium yesterday, and just seeing that the players really love to play with it. We talked with some of the players that were at the signing the night before, and they all want AP there.
Yeah, they love him.
And you hear the big names like Devontae and Max already
right with AP. Yeah, they're like, we want him, get him. And I think this is the first year Mark actually, had a pair and did his job, and we all got a lot of respect for Mark this year. I did personally. All of us always compare it to his dad, and I don't think that's appropriate because his dad was an original, just OG, just a legacy. So Mark actually grew a pair, was like, hey, I'm going to let other people make some decisions. I'm going to do the right thing. And he gave the right guy the job, so I hope he keeps it too.
Yeah, and that was my thing. When I never thought that we should move on from McDaniels until after the season, because like, fuck it, if the season goes to shit, fuck it, and then we'll find somebody after. Because I didn't think there was anybody that could step up and be the interim head coach. Because I thought they would probably give it to Patrick Graham or
that's what I thought.
Forgot who the offense coordinator was, Lombardi.
Yeah, I think I
was like, I don't want. But then when they announced fucking Antonio Pierce, I was like, oh shit, that could possibly work.
He just came out and just started wild. This is my job, and just he owned it from day one.
And I loved it. And he made some moves. And that's how I knew he was the nation's coach, because he did everything the nation would have done. One, obviously we fire Josh McDaniels, but you go out and sit Jimmy G right off the bat. And you tell him that Aiden O'Connell is the quarterback moving forward with the veterans still, in the locker room and whatnot. It was a pretty ballsy move.
You can tell the players had to earn his respect. So, like, if you saw the press conference, he threw shade at on oh my God, Peters. He's like, yeah, we got rid of the guys that didn't want to play 4 quarters that were making business decisions on the field besides playing football.
That's what I respect.
He threw Peters under the bus, and I was laughing. I'm like, he did not just say that, so I rewinded it, and I was like, ah. And I was like, you can tell, like, if you're not giving him your all effort, you're done. I don't want you. And I respect that. I respect that 100% because you got to go out there and earn your job. He don't care where you're from. He don't care what your pick is. He don't care what your contract is. Do your job. Make the team, make it better.
And you see the people he bring in, because he brought in Jack Jones.
Yeah. Beast.
And he's been what Marcus Peters should have been. But man, I love that pickup. And I know he would have owned up to it too if he didn't work out. But you could tell that he's bought into what Antonio Pierce has done, and then you could tell the rest of the team has. And to see this defense go out and do what they've been doing all season is crazy. Yeah. The only reason why I felt like it was a little bit hard, it's going to be a hard offseason for Mark because you know Mark loves the big names and stuff like that. And Jim Harbaugh is probably the biggest name out there, and he's available now. If Jim wasn't there, I think it would have been an easy Antonio Pierce this year job. But I feel like we should save the money, go see what AP can do, bring in the guys that he wants to bring in, and see how the offseason is going to look. But do you feel if AP had a full season with this team right now, we would be in the playoffs right now?
Team. Yep, 100%. 100% facts. Yeah, we would have been a fringe playoff team, but if our defense would have played like this, I feel like we would have not had the humps we did in Minnesota. I feel like we probably would have won the Chicago game because that should have been an easy win. And McDaniels effed a lot of things up, so I feel like we would have been, 9-8, maybe 10-7, and we would have squeaked into the playoffs. And yeah, it would have been a wrap. He would have had the job, period. But I think we waited a little too long and kind of prolonged because it's like it was embarrassment after embarrassment after embarrassment with McDaniels, and we're like, when is he going to fire this guy? But yeah, I think we'd have been a playoff team, and the nation would have been wilding out. We were a playoff team.
I know this last game would have been hella different. You actually got to go to the Fred Biletnikoff thing, the Crab Fest.
Yeah.
And you got to be there when Antonio Pierce just became the head coach.
He was announced like 3 days.
Yeah.
Dude, he was, and that's the thing. We're like, oh, it's cool because we saw his press conference, and then 2 days later he was there at the event. We had no idea who was going to be there.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, they still had, because it was fresh when he got fired, or McDaniels got fired. So McDaniels and Ziegler were still on the guest list. And I was like, we're all joking. Like, you think they're going to show up? They were both there last year too. And so he comes in and just like screams Raiders, gets on the mic, pumps the crowd up, and everybody's like, dude, this guy's it. This guy has it. And once we heard him talk, we're like, this guy is just a motivational public speaker. He knows what he's doing, knows how to get you to run through a wall. And I was talking to people about that. I was like, the way he talks, you saw him when he was on the Giants. He was their captain. He wasn't the best player on the team by far.
No, yeah.
You had Hall of Famers, you had Strahan, you had NFL sack leaders with O.C. Umenor, but he was the captain for a reason.
Exactly.
And you see that now. You're like, man, these guys will just run through everything. So I think he relates to a lot of players because like, hey, it's a Super Bowl contending middle linebacker. He's hard nosed. There's no BS. He's like, I don't care who you are, do your job. But yeah, he's it. He has that factor that you want to coach, and he's young too, so they can really get lucky getting him.
With him.
Yeah, they can get really lucky. It kind of reminds me of like that Mike Tomlin situation, the young and up and coming coach. Very hard nosed. Players love him. And the Steelers got to him before anybody else could, and
and he's been there.
He's been there ever since.
No losing season.
No losing seasons. Has Super Bowl rings. Like that's the thing. That's something we need. We don't need to play this coaching carousel every 3-4 years.
Yes, facts.
We got to get a guy that's a leader of men, and that's what I've been seeing from Antonio Pierce lately. And one thing I really like is those post-game locker room speeches that he gives, especially after wins, man. And then just him like yelling Raiders, like you don't see a lot of coaches doing that all the time, Yeah. And he does it. And then I like the quote that he said, like we don't need to be liked, we just need to be respected. And that's one thing I think as a Raiders organization is something that we've been needing for quite a while. And moving on to another position that I want to talk about is the quarterback position. It's obviously been a position we talked about even before this season, but with Aiden O'Connell, the rookie, and then seeing a big class coming in or even some free agents, what are your thoughts on Aiden O'Connell's future or whether or not the Raiders should go and get a quarterback in the draft?
Draft picks cost a lot of money. That's the problem. They are high problematic cost money. And if you do that can cost you your job. So if he trades up, the GM and him are going to be gone in a few years. It doesn't work out. So it's what they're showing now is Penix is going to be 12. He's going to be gone in before we get our pick at 13. So it's like you're either going to have to trade him for him or Daniels. That's it.
Yeah.
Those are our two options. I don't think Bo Nix is it. McCarthy's a second-round pick. He's not worth it. I wouldn't put my franchise in either one of those guys. So it's either Penix or Daniels. Those are the only two guys.
If you're trading up for them, you're not trading up too much though. Depending on, because we're at 13.
Yeah, so we're at 13, so we probably have to give our first and our second to trade up for that, or maybe a player package with that, a couple of third and a fourth and a future pick. Whenever you trade up top 5, top 10, you are paying a lot of money for that.
You think all 4 of those quarterbacks could be gone top 10?
Yeah, I 100%. So you got Caleb Williams who's going 1 overall, no matter what. Then you got
Drake.
You got Drake, who's probably going to go somewhere in the top 5. You got
Daniels and
you got the Commanders. You got the Patriots who need a quarterback. You got the Falcons who need a quarterback because Riddler ain't it. And then you got the Vikings who need a quarterback too. So that's 5 teams that need a quarterback.
And it also depends on what happens in free agency and the trade market. I mean, there's been a lot of talks about Justin Fields. Yeah. We've been vocal about it. I'm open to it. Yeah. A lot of people don't like to see it, but I feel like he's still a young quarterback that just needs some grooming. And I feel like Antonio Pierce, being the coach that he is, can groom any of these young quarterbacks.
A lot of talent in Fields, but the thing with him is he was in Chicago, bad situation. They don't have good players around him. They don't have a good defense around him. They have horrible coaching staff. Like, he was put in this a horrible situation. When have the Bears been good with an elite quarterback? It doesn't happen.
No.
There's one of those teams. So he's in a really bad situation. I think it's a lot of wasted talent if he stays there, because I watched him through college too. The guy just balled out, and he's just ridiculously fast too. He's that dual threat that you want. But
what about on the Raiders?
Oh yeah, with Adams. Oh my God, Moore's great, but he's not in Adams' class. Like, he would kill it, and especially with a top running back. My God, our offense would be nasty too.
Yeah, and then with the defense that we have, and then a young tight end and Mayer who's only coming up and whatnot. I think we have all the pieces around him to be great. We've just been missing a mobile quarterback. I think
Fields is only second-round pick too. That's all they want, second and third. That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't want a first round. So,
but then you got a lot of these Raider fans are like, "Oh hell no, he's trash." But people don't like to see outside of the situation and stuff like that. But then those same fans would think that Derek Carr is still God over there.
He's sitting at home just like us. So, no, Fields is a huge step up from what we have. And the thing is, like, I like to go by the numbers, looking at analytics.
Fields or Murray?
Oh, Fields, 100%. Murray,
just curious.
Murray is into himself. Like, you saw his contract.
Yeah.
They had to write in a contract that we wouldn't play video games all the time. Like, that guy has no passion for it. I've never heard anything about that, Fields.
I never heard that.
Yeah. You never heard that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. So he likes to play Call of Duty and stuff like that.
No, he's big on Call of Duty.
Like massive on Call of Duty.
When they have double XP
in his fucking contract?
It's part of his
contract. But they took it off.
Yeah.
Or they took it out.
Basically saying he wouldn't play video games and watch more film and stuff like that because he was playing. He's addicted to it. Yeah.
That's fine, you know.
I mean, which is
weird.
Yeah, I mean, cool. Yeah, but your job is to make $20 million a year. What are you going to choose, Call of Duty or football? I'm like, I'm gonna go football, man. Like, Call of Duty can take a back seat for a week and a half, you know. But
that's why I always said that Fields has been my number one guy. But then now we got another discussion because we got another quarterback added to that mix, Russell Wilson.
No.
Dude's weird.
Come on, man. Let's ride in Vegas, dog.
Stepdad vibes, futures kids. No, man. No.
Same shit I said.
Yeah, like high-fiving air and kissing babies and shit. Dude, that dude's a fool, man. And AP would eat that dude for lunch. Like, he's so egotistical and just so into himself, and you can tell his teammates don't like him. His linemen are yelling at him. His defense is yelling at him. No, he's not a good fit. He's going to be out of a job next year, most likely.
I think a team's going to give him a chance.
Pick him up, but I think it's going to be a salary dump because his contract's $39 million.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you got these quarterbacks out there, and then obviously Kirk's going to be a free agent. Baker's going to be a free agent. Jameis Winston. Like, I feel like
Russell's going to go to the Steelers.
Yeah, a team that needs a missing piece.
Could. Yeah, but the reason why I'm bringing that up is the fact that some of those teams that you mentioned earlier for the draft are going to pick up some of these guys, which maybe we get one like Jaden Daniels or a Penix in the first round. But if you had to choose, would you rather go in the draft or get somebody like Fields?
So Fields is proven. So that's the thing. But you just got to see what his cap is. So, like I said, when it comes to numbers, first round quarterbacks, 50-50. That's your shot. That is literally your shot since the NFL history.
Hit or miss.
50 bust or 50 that you're a prolonged starter. And then that varies that 50% of how great you are. So we know what we would get with Fields. We know we would get an elite scrambling quarterback that's probably going to throw 20, 25 touchdowns a year, maybe run for another 5 to 10, and then probably have 15 picks. Like, that's his thing. If you can control and hone in his turnovers, 100% get him. For a second-round pick, that is a steal.
And you wouldn't be giving up much?
No. A second-round pick, no. That's a steal. That's you drafting a lineman or something. That's a steal, and I would do it all day long. even like maybe package a player, try to dump some contract with him and switch some picks or something, you know, because
Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow. You get rid of another $12 million, you know, maybe send Jimmy G over there and eat some of the contract, stuff like that.
Send AOC.
I'm just joking. Jimmy G. But yeah, we have a lot of moving pieces. We have a lot of potential in our front office this year because we have a lot of cap space and we have contracts that we know we can get rid of. So we can get rid Jacobs. I don't think he's going to be back. So
I was just about to get to that.
Yeah.
But if AP's here, I feel like he's going to stay.
Depends on the contract.
No,
so
but I think he'll restructure it. You don't think so?
There's two ways you look at it. So his market value versus what he thinks his value are two different things. So he thinks, I think they offered him like 2 or 3 years at 12 to 14 a year or something like that. And he said no. And then they did the 1 year deal. So he thinks he's a $12 million running back. The league says you're probably an $8 to $10 million running back for 2 years. He's like, yeah, I wanted 4 or whatever it was. And the value's not there anymore for running backs. You saw what he did this year. So that $15 million that they're paying him every year, it's not there. And I got so much shit for saying that. I'm like, it doesn't matter how good he is. Look at the teams with top running backs and look what they do.
Yeah.
So if the Niners actually do something this year, they're going to be the first team in over a decade to get to a Super Bowl or win it with a all-pro running back. It doesn't happen. So, you know, and the thing is, you have Zeus, you draft like another late-round running back, you do committee, which most teams do.
Yeah.
You just save $15 million. Go get a lineman. Go get an elite lineman is what you can do.
Yeah.
And you can get almost the same production from those late-round draft picks or free agent running backs. So I don't think he's going to be back next year, and it sucks. He's such a hard-nosed player, too.
We've been saying that a lot. And I've been – everybody that asks me that, I say the same exact thing. One is going to depend on the coach. If AP's here, we might have a chance, and he could take a big pay cut just to stay and be a part of this. If it's not him, I doubt he'll even be back. Yeah. And then you see the production that Zeus has been showing these past couple of games. It's like we don't really need him.
He's out of nowhere, just running for 150 yards. Yeah. He couldn't read the ball or read a field or a play for a year and a half. Then out of nowhere, it's like 100 yards. I'm like, what the hell happened? He
like, oh wait, I could probably take this job right now. And this dude's been balling lately.
Have you seen Zeus up close? Like I think he only weighs like 215, so he weighs less than Jacobs. That dude is huge for 215.
Bro, the way he's been moving, I see those cuts.
He's taller than me, and he's just like this. He's so long and lean, and just ripped out of his mind. Like he's big boy for running back. And I stood next to him on the sideline. I'm like, I didn't know he was that big. I'm like, this dude is huge. Because like I stood next to Josh Jacobs, and he's just and like short,
yeah,
and Zeus looks same size as him, but like 6'1", 6'2". Like he's a big dude.
No, and the potential's there. And like you said, you could save a lot of money just going that and getting another running back, whether it's in free agency for cheap or in the draft.
Under the right contract, all for it. Like $7-8 million, like that, locked out. Once it gets to that 10 to 12 range, then I'm like kind of wavering a little bit because that's a couple position players. That's a backup player. It's like how much you're going to sacrifice because that's what McDaniels did. He's just throwing money at people. We had all these holes. You know, we had no backup here. We have no interior lineman. We had no linebacker. It's like we had no cornerback before Jack Jones was there. It was just like they're just chucking money at players. It's like, can't do that, man. There's a salary cap for a reason. You got to be smart.
Yeah. And it's crazy, like, going back to the defensive side of things, it's like we got that same exact defense, but that potential, like, just shot through the roof because you got a guy in, like, AP that just brings it out of him. I just kind of wish we had that on the offensive side, but if AP was to stay, do you think he revamps the whole coaching staff or?
No, Graham earned his job. And I was talking to somebody about this too. I think Graham was never really a good defensive coordinator up until this point. Like he had defenses in the 20s and he had like one good defense. Another has been like 25, 28, 30. Like there's been garbage D's.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Graham's I'm like on the fence about him, but this year it showed like, hey, he can coach too.
Yeah.
But I think he's a year or two out from getting a head coaching job. So I think he'll be back next year. I don't think somebody's going to offer him a job. It's too soon.
Yeah.
Because he had one good year out of all the times he's been a coordinator, and they had like one mediocre year. So I think he'll be back. Coordinator's gone, period. I think the offensive staff is gone because our offense was just atrocious this year.
We don't give Bo a chance?
Fuck
no.
He helped the team get 63 points. No?
That don't matter.
That
one game. and then what we do the week before that?
0.
Yeah.
It's because of our quarterback, guys.
Big old,
So no. We're doing a revamped offense. And that's the thing. I think they're going to offer somebody that's a high value offensive coordinator. Or they might even poach somebody from another team.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be a good one to come in?
Man, I love Bellamy. That's my thing. And people are like, he's fucking cheap. I'm like, dude, he's probably the best corner out there, but he's
not with the Chiefs though. He's with he's with and they're a solid offense.
Dolphins?
Too.
No, who the hell?
Not Dolphins.
It's Detroit.
I don't remember.
Hold on, let me see.
Let's Google it. But yeah, something like that. But they're going to have to get a high value offense coordinator because AP can't run the offense. You know, it's just. But the thing is, I don't want them to switch head coaches. I want AP. I want them to get a coordinator. I want them to get a quarterback. I think those are the missing pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, Washington.
That's where he's at now?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he turned Howell into a fucking all-star out of nowhere.
Going into the offseason right now, obviously we got a lot of moves to make. There's going to be a lot of decisions to make, head coach, quarterback, and whatnot. What do you think is the biggest position for the Raiders in this offseason?
I mean, most people would say quarterback, but I think that's just going to fall into place in the draft and via free agency. So I don't think that's going to – it's a need, but it's not the hard. For me, it's solidifying the defense because I've been telling people for the past decade with Chiefs, with Andy Reid, you can't compete with Andy Reid's offenses. Mm-hmm. That's not going to work. He's an elite coach for a reason, and you're sure in the hell not going to compete with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes on offense. You get a D and you rough him up. Defense. I would be perfectly okay with them passing on a quarterback and drafting a top tier linebacker or defensive lineman. I'd be okay with that.
Same thing I said.
Yep. And because the thing is, we don't have that fourth defensive lineman. Wilson's still coming to his own, and Masterson is fucking trash. I don't know why he's still starting for our team. He's like one of the lowest graded linebackers in the NFL, and he's still out there getting snaps all the time.
Oh, yeah, we could get another one.
So if we get another linebacker / edge rusher, somebody to come off the edge with Crosby, things like that, we're nasty. I think our cornerbacks are solidified. Epps is still under contract. Like, we don't have very many free agents this year either.
No.
The biggest profile one is Jacobs, obviously, and then like Van Rotten and Illuminor. Those are the free agents. Other than that, it's like mostly backups. Yeah. So our defense is all back. Everybody's back. So I think if we shore up the linebacker position or get an interior lineman, I'm 100% happy with that.
We could definitely do that too. Because there's going to be a lot of top defensive players dropping because of how many people are going to get quarterbacks and offensive linemen. Because this is a big offensive lineman draft too. So some of those are going to move back to where we're going to be at. I think it would be perfect position, especially if we do something like you said earlier, get somebody like Fields, give up later round picks, and use that first round pick for some of these other guys. I feel like I want to solidify that right side on the offensive line and just pay somebody.
Drop a bag on them.
I mean, the last time we paid like offensive line, like we had one of the best offensive linemen when we paid Hudson. You know, when we paid
Hudson Jackson,
Penn.
Yeah, we had 4 Pro Bowlers.
And then we brought in fucking Richie Incognito that nobody wanted. Like, we built ourselves an offensive lineman. We've seen how great we could be offensively with a solid offensive line. But that's where I'm at.
There's not many free agent offensive linemen this year, though. That's the other thing. There's a couple. Yeah.
We just need somebody on the right side just to solidify our offensive line.
Whoever's available, drop a bag with them.
But then you got to get a mobile quarterback on top of that. So that's
Well, that's why I said, like, I'm willing to take a quarterback in the offseason. You know, the what do you call that? My mind just went blank. Whoever's available on this offseason, grab a quarterback, drop a bag on the right tackle. You go after defensive players in the fucking draft. That's what I want.
Well, if you had to pick one position, who are you going with offseason?
Going after Justin Fields or Kyler Murray.
So quarterback.
Quarterback, yeah.
I wouldn't mind Baker.
So that way we don't have to worry about it in the draft.
Honestly, I wouldn't frown on that. I think he'd win. I think he goes to the playoffs. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
He's a little sporadic sometimes, but I think he's one of those guys that would do well under AP because he's like that fuck you mentality. Like, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna do my thing, talk shit.
Even Gardner Minshew, that dude's funny, bro. Little ass boy. Gardner Minshew.
He throws too many picks though. That's his problem. He's all over the place. But like, even with Baker, I'd be okay with Baker. I think Fields is better than Baker and way more upside. But you know, if you get Baker for a cheap deal, I'm like, and
you just build around the whole team.
That's steps above. He'll win. Baker probably win it. If we had Baker this year, we'd probably be an 11-win team. Honestly,
yeah.
Those games where we lost by 3 points, 6 points, he would have won those games because that's that extra touchdown pass we needed out of him. And you seen what he did at Tampa. Tampa had a garbage team, and they won their division.
Oh, for real.
He beat out Derek Carr. So
for real, how crazy is that, man? Derek Carr's supposed to take it to the Super Bowl, man. They just needed a quarterback, man. You know, and let's harp on that point, man. Derek Carr, our favorite quarterback to talk about, man. Yeah. And we got the perfect person here to talk about Derek Carr. So I came across your content because of Derek Carr. Yeah. I've been a big Derek Carr fan up until 2020. And that's when I started to open my eyes a little bit. And I started to see that this guy's never going to take us anywhere. Yeah. And I love the dude, but people, and you've seen that cult following, how big it is. Like, he can do no wrong. And that's when I started to get a lot of flack thrown my way, is when I started to say, this guy's not it. And you've been one of those guys that, like you said,
no fucks given.
No fucks given, bro.
I tell him, I'm like, this is not my job. I don't get paid for it. I don't give a shit. You unfollow me.
Yeah.
And so, like, what I did is I was like, okay, this is why. Because people say, I don't like this guy or I don't like that guy, and they don't give any content to it. I'm like, this is why I don't see him as a elite level quarterback. And I started just running through numbers every week. I'd pick specific things that he was bad at, he was good at, and I would say this is why he can never go above that next level. And one of the things was the red zone. He's the 28th to 30th ranked quarterback in the red zone every single year. It's not coaching. It's not offensive coordinators. Every single coach and coordinator he's had has had that problem with him. And then the other thing was the turnovers, which he's kind of honed in a little bit. Yeah. But he led the league in turnover until Josh Allen took it over. So it's like he's top 3 in turnovers. You can't win like that. It's like him, Josh Allen, and Matt Ryan were the top turnover guys. Like, are any of them considered elite? Maybe Allen a little bit, but Winshade turns the ball over 30 times a year. So it's just, when I started saying like this guy ain't it, after his injury, he wasn't it. And I started just going through it. I'm like, I'm Fresno State season ticket holder. I watched him in college. I saw him as a freshman. Like my friends and family went to college with his brother. Like we were around that whole family and everything. And I was like, this dude ain't it. He's not it. He don't have it. And I got shit for it for years. And I was like, I told you he would go somewhere else. The minute they structured his contract to where it could be $5 million to release him, made a sign for the game. It's only $5 million to cut Derek Carr. And I was like, he's gone. I was like, name another franchise quarterback where they structure his contract where you can cut him for $5 million. I was like, he's done. He will not be back here next year. Yeah. And that's what happened. And you see he's having the same issues in New Orleans. Same issues.
Well, that's what's crazy.
Same dude.
And that's what's crazy. Like, they gave him that extension, right? But a lot of people think that, oh, man, they're already gunning for him to leave. But I felt like if he went out there and balled out with the guy that, they brought in, Devontae Adams, his number one guy. If he balled out, we went to the playoffs, I don't think we have this talk at all. But he just showed up to be the same guy, inconsistent. Red zone wasn't there. I mean, some numbers look good, and that's one thing. People like to throw numbers out there.
He pads his stats, man. He pads his stats.
Exactly. It's like a Russell Westbrook. It looks good, but he's not a guy that's going to take you anywhere.
No. And like, so one of the games they were talking about, like, because I was talking shit, I'm like, Derek Carr's, fucking ass when they lost the game. Derek Carr almost brought us back. I'm like, he had 60 yards and no touchdowns into the fourth quarter. And he decided to throw for 200 in the fourth quarter and 2 touchdowns and make it look like he was trying to come back. I'm like, he was throwing in garbage time. They were down by 20-plus points. He had no chance of winning that game. Yeah. Like, even the analytics had it like at 1%. I was like, no chance in hell. So he threw his first touchdown. I can't remember who it was against. Was it the Falcons maybe?
Oh, this is a Saints game, huh?
Yeah,
with
game.
Saints. With the Saints.
And that's why because I had more, like the Saints following was talking shit to me. Yeah. And so I was like, this is why. And I was like, he had 63 yards up until 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. And then he threw 2 touchdowns and 200 yards. So all of a sudden it was like, he had 270, 3 touchdowns. It looked like he balled out. It's like, no, he was garbage for 45 minutes.
People don't see that, though.
No, they look at the numbers. You get those armchair GMs who don't watch the plays. and it's like, we're probably all the same thing. But the thing is, like, I'm going on pages. I'm watching the plays. I'm watching the breakdowns of it. I'm seeing the reads. I'm there at the games, like, focusing on certain players. Because I get questions like, hey, can you watch... Like this year was, hey, can you watch Hunter, see if he's getting open? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, he's fucking open. Jimmy's just not hitting him. Yeah. And
that was the same thing with me a couple of years ago when we had Deshaun Jackson. And I started going to my first games in 21 or 20. Yeah, I think 21. And then like on TV, like it's different when you go to the game and you see the whole field and stuff like that compared to what they show on TV. And man, I remember I was tweeting. I was like, man, this dude, like, Carr's not even fucking hitting Deshaun, and he's wide open by himself. And people was like, what do you mean he's wide open? He's not open. There's a safety on top or something. I was like, no. I watched it. He was wide open, but he's over here looking at fucking Josh Jacobs or something like that, trying to dump the ball off.
That's what he does.
But a lot of people don't like to admit that. And that's where I started to grow, like, that's where I started to get annoyed by some of the fans. Because you got this one player that split the nation up so much. Yep. And like you said, like even if you put the stats out there, even if you back up your points, you're still considered a hater, or like you don't love this team, you're a fake fan type of thing. I know you've been getting
I get it all the time.
You've been getting a lot.
Yeah, because go root for. There's like somebody told me to go root for Kyler Murray, and I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? I don't like Kyler Murray. And I was like, dude. But yeah, when you bring facts to an argument and people can't refute that, they get angry.
Exactly.
And they're so entrenched in their ways. You got to have an open mind. Because I used to love Derek Carr. Mm-hmm. Like. I mean, like my kid still has photos of him, Max and DC on sidelines at games in his bedroom, and like so it's still there. And I'm like, don't take that down. That's a memory, man. Yeah. But like, it's just after a while, it's enough's enough. I want to win, and it's like that guy's not going to get us that level. Yeah. And people like to say to throw out numbers. Like I've had so many people say Derek Carr is better than Ken Stabler, and I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. And like I never got to see Stabler play because I'm young, but you see the highlights, you see his numbers, his MVP, what he did. I tell people, you compare what the person does to the rest of the league. Don't compare what they do to the people in your franchise because we don't draft quarterbacks well. Yeah. You compare them to the people in the league and you see what they're doing around them and what the other quarterbacks are doing. Every year, there's younger quarterbacks that would hop over him every year. And as they would retire, another one would get drafted and be better than Derek Carr. And it's like after a while, you're like, hey, you got to cut your losses and see what you can do somewhere else.
No, for sure.
Finally did it, so. And we're in the same spot with or without him. Yeah, we're in the same spot with or without him. 1 game difference, and the Saints are a better whole team than we are in a shitty division, and they finished 1 game better.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, and you point out something good, because I don't think a lot of people that criticize Carr really hate the guy. Yeah. It's just that we don't want him on our team, you know? And that's one thing I try to – I feel like it's mostly the Kardashians that get under my skin more than just Derek Carr, like – I mean, I watch him, I get pissed off, whatever. Like, I could respect the dude. I still root for him. But then when you see him do the same things that, you know, you've been bringing up on a different team, it's like, okay, it's not the team.
And they blame everything else. So, like, when he went to the Saints, I was like, okay, the Saints should win that division. He's competing against nobody. I was like, he should win that division. I was like, I'm predicting he's getting to the playoffs. I'm predicting a first-round knockout. And he didn't even make the playoffs. And you saw at the end of the year, Dennis Allen knows him probably better than most coaches. Yeah. Dennis Allen was pulling him out of the red zone and putting in Taysom Hill. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they're running the ball with Taysom Hill on quarterback draws because he has so many issues in the red zone. And
now it's Dennis Allen's fault now. Everybody's looking at but Saints fans, it took them 1 year to already a lot of Saints fans don't even want him on the team no more.
Nope.
They'd rather see Jameis out there.
Because Jameis Winston, he'll have his up and downs, but he can win you games. So
yeah, but you know that's Derek Carr. I mean, has there been any crazy interaction since you've talked about Derek Carr?
Oh,
like anybody ever come up to you and say?
I've gotten online. I've gotten death threats. Oh. Yeah, legit. Like, legit. Yeah, you're laughing. But I will tell you something funny. You know the dick in the box things?
Yeah.
So somebody got my address. I don't know how. They didn't share it with anybody. Yeah. I thought it was funny because I'm like, okay, this might be somebody I know because my address isn't very common to know.
Yeah.
And so somebody sent me a dick in the box and it just had DC on it. And I knew exactly what it was for. The dick gummies. They sent them to me. Oh. And I was like, I didn't put it online. I'm like, who the fuck sent me these? That was the only thing.
Don't talk about my quarterback again.
Yeah. But no, I got a lot of hate, a lot of death threats. People would say shit about my kids, things like it went to a whole nother level because I was very critical of them. And then was a year before last. Shout out my buddy Terry. We were at the Fresno State game for Devontae's retirement, and we were on the sideline with Devontae and Derek Carr. And I was live streaming it. I'm like, you fucking hate me right now, but whatever. Yeah. Oh man, I got so much shit for that.
It's like, that's not fair. That should be me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, people were like, you say shit to about him, and then you have a pick. You're trying to get autographs. I'm like, yeah, my son likes him, so I'm gonna do what's good for my son. And and I was like, he was super nice to my child, and I was like, I'm a respectful person. I'm like, a man of God. Why would I go up and cuss him out?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind for me to do that.
Yeah, it's one thing to be critical during a game and say like, yo, he's not getting it done, and it's another thing to like go like, hey, fuck you, DC, because you're not gonna do that.
Exactly.
You should be like, damn, I don't like when he plays, but it's the same thing with anybody, you know.
I am blocked by Derek Carr on Twitter and Instagram though, by the way.
Oh damn, that's you made it. You made it.
No, Derek Carr blocked me. I did some edits of Deshaun Watson in a number 4 jersey, and I was blocked like that. Yeah,
damn.
I kept tagging him in it.
That's crazy.
I was like, I got blocked. So there's like a group of like 15 of us that are all blocked by him. We all thought it was funny. Like Kukui, John's blocked by him.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. He put, he's like, welcome to the club. I told him when it happened, and he's like, welcome to the club, because he was doing edits of Tom Brady on the billboard. And it says, welcome to Las Vegas. And yeah, I guess like David and Derek both fucking blocked him online. I was hella laughing. I'm like, that right there, when we moved to Vegas, that was kind of the turning point when I lost respect, because I'm like, this is a professional athlete making hundreds of millions of dollars, and fans are getting underneath his skin. I'm like, he don't have it. He don't have it.
Oh man, it took me. I think it was one Bengals game that we had over here in Vegas before the playoffs. We had a Bengals game, we lost, and that's when I broke. Like I used to go live after, and I was just like, man, he's not it. And I was like, dude, this is frustrating. Like we need to go get somebody else. Like he's not in. People were like, what do you mean? He's the franchise guy. I'm like, he's just not that guy. And I had to come to a realization, like, bro, since 2016, I mean 2017, not really. Because I've always thought, like, okay, we didn't have the wide receivers. We didn't have the offensive line. We didn't have the defense. But you can only say that so long until you figure out, like, okay, he's the only guy there that is just not getting the job done. We need to get somebody else. And, you know, I was wishing him the best when he left. I mean, we even did that video where I interviewed fans, and he even commented and said thank you and stuff like that. But you know, it's just crazy to see the position he's in right now, and it's like we're basically in the same boat right now.
We're same boat. So
yeah,
same boat and save $40 million. So
exactly, and people were scared to put Jimmy G in because we lose that. We'll pay him money.
Yeah, if he gets hurt.
I was like, it's still cheaper than if we were to have Derek Carr.
I don't think he's going to be back next year. I think they're going to cut their losses. He's like a $15 million dead cap space. I think he's
kind of sucks, man. I really wanted Jimmy Vegas, man. It would have been nice. But it is what it is, man. I don't think Hoyer's going to be back. I don't think Jimmy's going to be back.
No.
But Aidan O'Connell definitely should be here with whoever we bring in, I think. And maybe we draft somebody.
Make him compete. No, make him compete.
For sure.
Yeah. No.
Because if he really wants to be that guy, you can't just hand him the keys.
No. Yeah, it's my worry because, like I said, like I watched him in college, so like I love college football. That's my thing, and like I've talked to other people about that. My other dude was a statue in college, just tall, lanky, moved up and down, but couldn't move left or right. Yeah. And if the minute he got hit, he'd get in trouble. Yeah. And the other thing is like people are like, oh, he can throw the ball. I'm like, yeah, he can throw a ball. Doesn't mean he's going to complete it.
Yeah.
And even in college, his long ball was like one of the worst in the NCAA. And I told people that, like, no. I'm like, no, it was like he cannot throw the fucking ball. Period. He throws it far and hard, but it's inaccurate. And you see, he has like a 60% completion percentage. Like that's not pro level. Like that's, and they'll be like, I remember somebody was like, oh, he's the second-ranked rookie quarterback. I'm like, yeah, because there's only like 5 starting, and they're all garbage besides Stroud. It's like...
I was trying to tell this guy, man, right here. Jimmy was more mobile than him, bro.
Jimmy's more mobile than him.
But he did throw farther than Jimmy. But then I was like, you know, just because you can throw far doesn't mean, like, you're a really good quarterback. I mean, we had a quarterback that we drafted first overall.
The quarterback situation is just fucked up right now.
Yeah, we had a guy that could throw 60 yards on his knees, and look where he's at. I wanted to... I guess go back a little bit, and how you became a Raider fan.
So my thing was I have a stepbrother and stepdad. So my stepdad back in the 90s, I grew up watching Jeff Hostetler. Yeah. And so Napoleon Kaufman, Harvey Williams, like back in the day, long neck Harvey. I remember that, like looking over the line chick. And so like we remember my dad just screaming at the TV, just cussing everybody out, you know, losing bets all the time at the local bar. And that's kind of like, oh my God, this passion. And then we started going to games when they came back from LA. And so like early. And then, so I think I went to my first game and I'm trying to think when I was in high school, probably like 96, 97. And so it's been that ever since. And I haven't looked back. I wear other baseball jerseys, like, cause like, you know, Judge went to Fresno State. So like I have Yankee Judge jersey. Like I grew up watching Barry Bonds. You won't see me in another fucking football jersey, period. Like, it's the Raiders all the way.
Yeah. Oh, but baseball is...
Yeah. Baseball, you're like, oh, okay, Raider. No, you'll never catch me. I don't even do jersey swap bets because I'm not putting on other team's jersey. Like, I'm not doing it.
No. I lost a couple bets.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to be a photo op or something.
Real good. What was it? 2 years ago when we played the Dallas Cowboys? My brother-in-law finally lost. And he had to wear the Raiders. I said, yeah, wearing that shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, take some pictures, but... Yeah, I've been watching them since I was a kid. I've been a season ticket holder since like 2012 or 13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was season ticket holder in Oakland. None of my shit picked up till probably like 3 years ago online because like I never really posted my Raider stuff. I just went to the games, took my kids, enjoyed my time, went home, and then I started doing the stats and analytics and stuff like that, and just kind of got tread over the past couple of years, which is pretty cool. I mean, I can't be more appreciative. Like, this shit's wild to me. Like, like, you know, like, oh, hey, do you want to go here? You know, you want to go there? Hey, this event, hey, we'll get you in. I'm like, cool. And I know you guys get way more than I do. I'm like, this is fucking wild. Like, I'm just a regular dude, and I'm like, just somebody called me like, hey, I got sideline pass. You want to go? I'm like, yeah. Like, why would I say no? You know, so it's really cool making those connections, man. It is a nation. It's a lot of fun, and it's just like you don't hear this kind of stuff with other teams' bases. That's the other thing too. Like a few here and there, but a lot of them, you know, we're like family out here.
It's like the Raiderverse, right? You remember? Like that is crazy though. Like the connections you make. I mean, of course, like we've all like just regular fans. You know, I tell people I'm just another fan that just talks in front of a camera, but like the connections you make, the opportunities you have and stuff. I mean, like you said, you've had a lot of opportunities, but you've been rocking with the team for years now. I mean, we all have, but you know, going to Oakland and all that. What was your favorite memory over there?
Oh, easy one when I took my kids. I remember I took my kids to the last game in Oakland.
Jaguars?
Yeah.
Or Denver?
That was Jaguars? I don't remember.
We had like 2 final games over there.
But
Jaguars we lost. Denver we won.
Yeah. And I have the photos like because they were young. So I have like one strapped to my chest and my son's like right here. And I'm like, you guys were in Oakland. And so one of the pictures I have in my hallway is with Kukui and Deadpool Raider at Oakland, the final game with my kids. and it's my son's favorite photo. It's in my hallway. I got those little tile things, and it's right in front of his room. And I literally was bullshitting with him. I'm like, no, you guys are literally pictures of my house. My son loves this photo, and because Deadpool's his favorite.
Oh,
and so
nice.
Every year, Wayne Deadpool Rotor, he'll message me, send him a happy birthday video. He'll go up, hey Max, how you doing? And my son runs right up to him, hugs him and everything. So that is the number one thing that was the coolest thing. My son just had his birthday. Like I had random people giving my kids gifts and money that had no idea who I was. No, they knew who I was. Yeah, they probably knew who I was, but they had no idea who my children were. They're not my friends. They were just coming up here. You hungry? You thirsty? You know, Baker made my kid a cake, and then everybody gave my kid gifts, and I was like, dude, this is fucking wild. Like this, I was so appreciative. Like I couldn't even explain. Like I told my brother about it, and he's like, dude, that's not. He's like, that's so cool for your kid. I was like, I know, dude. Like this is just.
Man, that's amazing.
I'm not getting emotional. I'm like, fuck.
No,
dude.
no,
Like,
no,
that's
like, perfect, though, bro.
I was like, I was telling my friends, I'm like, I've never had something like this happen in my life. Where people you don't know, like, give your son love. And it's funny because he's always running on that tailgate. Like, half the time I don't know where he's at. Somebody fucking takes him, runs. It's like feeding him. I'm like, where's my son? They're like, oh, here. I'm like, okay, cool.
And that's what's awesome, though. Yeah, I recently met your son this year, but he turned into like a celebrity like after Autumn wins, all in. Bro, that was the funniest thing. And when he posted, I said, damn, I feel like a hell of a delusional fan of it. I've been one of those fans that's like, no, we'll still make the playoffs, but he's just straight like, no, it's over.
Yeah.
Like,
and the thing is, so all the interviews, I don't prep him. He does that on his own.
Yeah.
I don't do. I was like, he kept saying, so he goes to private school. He's religious,
Okay.
and I was like, Max, you can't cuss, dude, because he cussed a couple times on accident. I'm like, Max, you can't cuss on camera, dude. I was like, you're too young. I don't care if you're at a Raider game. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he felt bad. He's like, but Jimmy G sucks. And I was like, I know, dude, but you can't say it all the time.
He was telling me, he was like, yeah. I said, who you think's gonna start? So I forgot what it was. He's like, Jimmy G, but he'll probably have a concussion soon. I was like, what?
I had to ask him. I'm like, how you know what a concussion is? Dude, he's like, YouTube.
Hey, why not, bro?
But it's wild to see him embrace everything because he loves going to the games. He loves going to the players. He loves getting autographs. And he's following literally. He's like a little mini version of me.
That's awesome.
And so is my daughter. My daughter was going up to Denver fans and screaming Raiders in their face. And I took a video of it and I was laughing. I was like, yep, my daughter's better than yours. I'm like, but what are you going to say to a 5-year-old? Like, there's nothing you can say.
What are you going to say to a 5-year-old that the dad's not going to do to you? You just wait, like, don't say shit, bro.
No, and so when I was in Buffalo, so that was the first away game I've ever taken him to. I was like, what game do you want to go? And I gave him a list of destinations. So usually one game a year, I'll take my kids to one away game, like one-on-one. Got to do the dad thing. And I was like, where do you want to go? He's like, I want to go to New York because I want to go to Canada. I want to see Niagara Falls and stuff. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Oh, nice.
And so, but he was, after the game, even though we lost, he was acting like he was high-fiving Bills fans and like doing, and he's like, you have no rings, and like would walk off. Like, Max!
He ready for content creating already. Bro.
Oh, he's asked me, he's like, can you make me YouTube? I'm like, dude, just hop on the videos and the interview. Yeah. But yeah, like Joe, you, All In On and Win, a couple other people, they've all interviewed him. He was with me, and like Sylvie was interviewing me before, and he was all excited, like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" Because they had the cameras out.
Yeah,
it's a trip. He gets a kick out of it, and
that's what's awesome about Raider Nation, like that people don't see. Of course, you see the crazy fans, kind of like this guy. All
the gay jokes, the things, the warnings you get.
But you see a lot of people might think, "Oh, those are thugs or whatnot," but it's a family. Like that's one thing that my wife found out. Like she grew up being a Steelers fan, not really diehard. She just root for them, And then she bought me tickets to my first Raider game back in 2014, the rookie year for Derek Carr, in San Diego. And I went there, man, awesome experience. And that's when she found out, like, bro, everybody's nice. Because people were like, hey, you want some food, tacos? Well, like, for free? It's like, yeah, just come get. She's like, damn, they're all nice. And then I took my first picture. I took Kakuya this. He's my first super fan I took a picture with.
Yeah.
I remember I seen fucking Gorilla walking by. I was like, babe, that's Gorilla. Like, but I didn't want to stop them. They were walking. I was like, but now it's crazy to see, like, we're with these people all the time.
And they know us.
Yeah, now they know us. Like, Gorilla, I see him out of his costume. What's up? I'm like, how you doing, dude?
Yeah,
it's fucking wild.
It is. I was like, hey, Violet, I said, I grew up watching you guys just at the games, but like for your son, like I told Jesse this too, like that I can't wait to do that, bring my daughter and just enjoy it. And you guys been doing a great job of it. And I know they're having a kick out of it too. Like but you know, the nation always showing love and just doing that. Like you guys just announced, oh, it's just their birthday weekend. You guys just get bring them, but you know, the nation always looking out for one another.
Yeah. And everything that was arranged for this birthday weekend, nobody told me. It was a surprise. Like, hey, you got to be here at this time. I'm like, all right, what are you guys doing? And then like just random people hop out, gave money. I'm like, I don't even know you, man. I was like, you don't have to give him cash. He's like, no, these guys.
Here you go.
Yeah, like, I was like, you know, all these Mexican guys busting out money. And yeah, that is the thing too. Like, you never go hungry or thirsty at a Raiders tailgate. Never. And I always joke. Now I always this dude feeds me alcohol all the time when you don't drink. Here you go. I'm like, oh fuck, all right. But
I never eat. That's the thing. I want to, but I can never eat.
I had to learn how to love tequila, being a Raider fan. Like, that's the one downfall. I don't like tequila, and that's all they have. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But, you know, that's the number one thing I always joke about, because, like, I don't do this for the fame. I do it for the money. I do it for the tacos and beer. And, like, 100%. I'm like, that is the best part. I don't even, like, even though, like, you know, the Michelada guys, they always, you know, they give me stuff. I always tip them because I'm like, hey, you're giving me something. Like, they're like, no. I'm like, no, you're getting tipped, dude. Yeah. Like, but, like, if I didn't want to, I would never have to pay for food or drinks in the tailgate ever. And I'm like, that's the best thing for me. I'm like, talking to people, bullshitting, seeing everybody, you know. And now a lot of group of us are like traveling together. And we're
next year, first home away game, everybody's got to go.
We have to. And
we got to plan it out.
Yeah, and I tell people, it's like, we're all men. We're all so bad at communicating with each other. Like, we're all be in the same city at once. Like, all right, what are we doing? And then the freaking girls all like, all right, be at this place at this time. But Chicago was the first place, I think, like, so it was me, Hollywood, Javi. Yeah, we're like, all right, let's get a damn Airbnb together this time, because we always stay in separate hotels. Like, just get a party house and have fun. That's what we did. And it was wild. Like, we all had a good time.
We're doing that for the first away game.
We need to, just get a fat Airbnb and everybody just go all out. It'll be
Depends
fun.
on what's the first away game. But I'm down. Like, I told her, I even told All In, though, too. I said, I want to go to more away games next year. I mean, we're here in Vegas all the time, but I want to hit a couple of them. Other than LA, we're always in LA.
LA twice.
Yeah, we'll be in LA, but I mean, somewhere different. I've never been anywhere outside of LA or San Diego.
What games are for next year?
So you have we have Cincinnati. Stay out of Ohio. Ohio is just absolutely horrendous. I hate Ohio. But we have Ohio. We have both LAs, and then we also have Denver Chiefs. Then we have Tampa, Miami.
Ravens
too, yeah.
Ravens,
Baltimore. Yeah. Maryland's cool. I've been there before.
You memorized
New Orleans too.
Oh yeah, you hella memorized that.
I got good memory.
I was about to read it off, and I was like, "Yeah, you named it off."
Yeah. So like this year, the only away game I missed was the Chiefs, because Christmas. And
you didn't go.
I couldn't.
And that's your birthday, right?
It's my birthday. I was I was like on my phone. I was like, man, you know, if I leave and fly back. And my son's like, will you take me? I'm like, I'm paying for 2 or 3 flights on Christmas, bro. I was like, I will use all my points. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to go. We'll just watch it at home. He's like, oh, okay. But I didn't go to Christmas. I didn't go to Detroit. There's only 2 games I missed all year. So I went to 15 games this year.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm tired. Like, when we had that bye week, I was so happy.
Bro.
I was so happy.
Now, it's crazy as like being fans like this, like that the bye week is one of my favorite weeks. Like, I tell him, I said, we get a break from all the games, all the like content, whatever. We just have a whole break. Yeah. But you damn nearly went to
the whole season.
Yeah, I think Brian's probably the only one that went to more games than me.
All in.
And but like the other part was like when we had the Sunday night and the Thursday, I literally took my kids home that Monday, took them to school, worked a day and a half, and came right back to Vegas. And I was like,
that was Vikings to Chargers.
Yeah. And I'm like, I literally just spent like a week in Vegas. I was like, dude, I'm so tired.
Oh man,
it's like living like that's the worst part. Oh god, the people at Eye Candy, the bartenders know me now. I'm like, dude, this is getting too much, man. Like, it's like, hey Josh, I'm like,
the usual. I don't know if
it was fun because I went to got a drink after the game last night, and the bartenders came up and like fist because I always tip them. I always tip your bartenders. Always tip your bartenders.
Yeah, they'll take care of you.
Yeah. You know, and they'll give you more alcohol than you should. And so, like the bartenders, both the guys, came up and like fist bumped me. Hey, how you doing, man? You came back, da da da. And my buddies were like, why do they fist bump me? I'm like, I'm here every week, dude. I was like, this is where I come. Yeah. I'm always at the bar, and I always pick that guy as my bartender.
Oh, that's dope.
I always go to the same guy every time. But yeah, it's pretty wild. It's been a wild ride the past couple of years. It's really cool. Vegas is getting that home vibe now.
Yeah, I know.
And it's way more family friendly than Oakland ever was. And I know people are going to get angry about hearing that. Like, the passion was there for Oakland, but the familyness, and that's what they want it to be. They want it to be a family venue, and they're nailing it.
Yeah.
You know, you're seeing all this stuff getting built across the street. You're seeing that they're going to be bringing the A's here. Like, this town's going to be wild in a couple of years.
Oh, and I'm ready for it, man. That goes to my next point, man. I wanted to ask you, since you've been to Oakland and Vegas, man, how was that transition, and how did you feel about it when they first announced they were going to come to Vegas?
So my problem was like we're regular guys, you know, like we're blessed we get to go. I know people that can't afford to go. That was the most exciting to me, to see that people I know worked all their lives to be Raider fans, and now they can't go to games because of the price. That's the number one thing that does upset me, because it's so expensive to go here. Other than that, every other aspect is better besides the tailgate. Like, I don't know what to say. The tailgate's picking up. Like, you guys are doing things. So in Oakland, we had so many booster clubs doing everything, but there wasn't anything to do in Oakland, so everybody tailgated.
Yeah, that's what people don't remember.
Yeah, there's nothing to do in Oakland. Like, you don't want to go to the BART station. You're going to get stabbed or something. Like, you just, like, you would go to the game, you would go to Denny's, get some breakfast, and go to the game, and that's it all day. Out here, there's too much to do. So I don't think the tailgate will ever get more than like 2 or 3 rows, which is fine. You don't need to be walking around for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But it's picking up. So now we're having music. We have different groups that are all in that certain areas, you know, which it's cool. It's way better than it was the first year. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, because year one, it was 1 row.
Yeah. Now you're getting 2 or 3. Now you're getting the booster clubs coming out, and everybody's like, hey, J-Lot's the spot. So everybody goes to J-Lot now. Like, I don't know how many times I've had to post maps on my stuff, or like show them where it's at. It's cross street from Terribles.
Now we can say it's across the street from In-N-Out.
Yeah. Which that place is never busy, which I don't understand.
That's what's crazy, huh? Because we went after a game one time.
Yeah, we got food in like 5 minutes.
And I was like, dang.
We thought they were closed. Yeah, there's nobody there.
Yeah, there was nobody there. I was like, damn, for this to be the spot right here, I was like, I thought everybody would be there, you know, but it's been cool. And then like you said, there's a lot to do outside the hotels. There's so many places to go. That's why I always feel like the experience will always be fun. Because, I mean, other than the tailgate, but the games, it's kind of tough. Well, I want to get your thoughts on this as well, you know, because it's been a subject that a lot of fans criticize a lot, is the opposing fans.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
People bought things as investment. We all knew that was going to happen. I know the Warriors tried doing this a few years ago, and they kind of dibbled with it, where they say, okay, if you're a reseller, you got to sell to your home team. You got to sell to certain fans. You got to put in your zip code when you buy tickets. I would love to see the Raiders do something like that. And as an NFL team, you can regulate that. So if you've seen playoff games, teams, you have to enter your zip code when you buy seats. Teams have done that and gotten away with it. So you can do that. You might get some flack, but you can do it. Like, well, I'm out of state. Well, we're going to allow, you know, this percentage out of state fans. The other guys, fuck off. I would be okay with that.
They tried to do that for like the Charger games, no? Like something like that, where they tried.
It didn't work with regular teams, but it worked with playoff teams and the NFL and the NBA. They did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it worked, and they got a lot of flack, so they kind of pulled back. But the thing is, opposing teams want to come to Vegas because it's a destination spot. Like, you remember how many Vikings fans were? The Vikings were horrible. And
I don't
over
think
the parking lot.
I don't think they'll ever like stop them from coming, because they want.
But the thing is, the only people making money are Ticketmaster. Mark Davis isn't making any more money. So it's like they have to find that leeway where, like, okay, how do we regulate it?
Oh, because I know what you mean. Because
the second market,
right there.
It's like, how do you regulate it? What's the secondary market? How do you fluctuate that? Because Mark Davis ain't making any extra money. He's just filling it, and he's getting pissed off. You see him; he's getting mad.
Yeah,
like, quit selling your tickets. We're like, we'll put a product out there. But the thing is, even when we're bad, we go to games.
Thank you, man, again for coming on the podcast. I know we could go on for days, but maybe we'll do it again sometime. But, man, I appreciate you coming on, man, to Go 209. If there's anywhere you want people to follow you at.
Just follow me on Instagram. I just started doing a YouTube channel this year. I've been hopping on people's podcasts. By all means, go. My link's in my bio. Subscribe. All the money goes back to you guys. It's the GOAT 209. Name's Joshua Jacopetti. You can follow me on there. Always doing giveaways. And then the link to my YouTube's on there, too, as well. It's Raider with Kukui and Baker Raiderette. Baker has a huge following, so you guys should know her. Her cookies and stuff are amazing. She has them at the tailgates all the time.
What's in whiskey?
What's in whiskey?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Hey, what's in whiskey sponsor?
Jay, I've been bothering you for 6 months now. I want my sponsorship, please. But yeah, so just, follow me on Instagram. I don't really do TikTok or anything. I don't know if I'm going to. The only reason I did YouTube this year was because of John. Otherwise, I'd have probably never hopped on it. You know, it's just, I do this for fun. It's not a job for me.
No, for sure.
Y'all know what it is. Mr. Fitz, FITZ, 714. Y'all know what it is. Fuck your team and it's Raiders, bitch.
How do I follow that up? Hi, guys. You guys can follow. No, but you guys already know the deal, man. Y'all can follow me on all social media platforms at Simone Raider. Until the next episode, man, we are Out.